This is the next in a series of videos which are going to look at some advanced aspects of adaptable expressions. So Adaptable has a query language, AdapTableQL, which is used whenever we want to interrogate data in Adaptable. So that's not only for queries, but also for things like alerts, calculated columns, style conditions, etc. And at the heart of AdaptableQL is an expression, which is a human readable, writable string that can be very complex if required, with multiple criteria and column references, and as we'll see, many expression functions as well. Most expressions work on a single row, but you can also have aggregated, cumulative, observable, quantile expressions. And during the course of these videos, we're going to look at some of the more advanced aspects of expressions, as I said. Last time we looked at the query function. So today we're going to look at custom expression functions. So let me first provide a bit of background. So if I go into AdaptableQL and I look at the functions, you can see that Adaptable provides lots of expression functions out the box that you can use in your expressions. So we have some logical expressions, comparisons, some for manipulating strings, others which are maths based, and lastly some date based, and these cover the overwhelming majority of use cases. But of course, sometimes you will want to write your own expression which will include or require a function that Adaptable doesn't ship. So what happens? Well, the answer is quite straightforward, and that is that you provide Adaptable with your own custom expression function, and then Adaptable will evaluate that each time that expression is required. It's quite a complicated topic, so we won't look at the entire structure of an expression function at the moment. The most important thing to notice is that you provide what's called a handler. You provide the function which Adaptable invokes. So let's go full screen here and let's do some show code. So what we've done in this example here is we've actually provided two expression functions, and you can see them here in the code at the side. We provide them in AdaptableQL options, expression options, and we've provided one Boolean and one scalar. So the Boolean is this one here. It's called this business year. The most important thing, as I say, is a handler, and this is a very simple function which just basically takes a date and says whether it's in the current year. In fact, in the real world, you're quite likely, rather than to hard code this, to use a var expression, which we'll look at in a future video, so that essentially each year that can change, so it can be fully dynamic. But you provide a handler function, you provide a return type, and then in order to help users at runtime, you can also provide description, signatures, and examples. And the reason why we do that is if we go into our function, if we go in, say, into business year, you can see here the signatures, the examples, and the description we've given. Let me close that. And the second function we've given is one we provided, is one called USD convert. Now again, in the real world, you absolutely wouldn't hard code, obviously 1.15 and 1.2. What you would do is you would call a server. This would be asynchronous, but essentially what happens is each time you want to convert something to USD, then you can just call this function. It will then go off to whatever backend or whatever service it calls, and will come back with a figure. In fact, as well as doing USD convert, which takes two parameters, the value, the value and the currency, you could in fact make it kind of have as many as you want, so it can convert kind of as many currencies as you wanted it to do. But again, in this trivial example here, we've got a handler which hard codes the conversion, and again we've got a description, signatures, and examples. And so therefore, again, if I go into here and I go into USD convert, I can see it. So why is that useful? Because now it means, of course, that this USD convert and this business year can be used elsewhere in Adaptable. And in fact here we can see three examples. We'll start from the bottom example here, which is a format column. So we've created a format column to say it's going to be bold, italic, and blue. Where? Well, the Boolean expression is this business year purchased. So any row in which the value for the purchase column is in this business year is going to have that style, which is why you can see this one, and this one are blue. And we've also created a calculated column, and a calculated column is using our USD convert. It's taking two functions. It's taking an amount and a currency, and it's returning the value. So in fact, you can see it here. We have amount, and then we've created this calculated column called dollar price, and the expression is USD convert, amount, currency, and obviously it turns that into a dollar currency. So for instance, obviously it happens at runtime. So if I change this to 1200, we see that change to 1440. And in fact, if I changed this, say, to be EUR, then you can see it changes again. So it's live. And the third thing we've done is we've also provided a named query, which is what we looked at in the last video. And this one, in fact, maybe it's easier to see it here. Let's load the query. And this one, in fact, is using both. It's basically saying I want any row which has a conversion which is greater than 1.175. So we know that's only going to be ones which are pound, and where the purchased is not in the current year. So anything which is before the business year. And there's our query, which is using both our custom expression functions. And when I clear it, obviously, I see the whole fictitious, rather pointless set of data that we've used for this example. So as I say, it's a much more complicated example. There's a lot more you can do, but hopefully that explains how you're able to provide your own functions, which are then completely available for anyone to use how and when they want. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to know more about custom expression functions or AdapTableQL in general, or you'd like your own personalized one-to-one demo, or indeed receive a free no obligation trial license for any of those, please get in touch, and we look forward to hearing from you. Thank you for watching.